Well, last episode we fought through some very tough fixtures to stay within striking distance of a top 5 spot, and now it all comes down to the end of the season, this time out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Respect to Jeff, back here with Paris FC. We are wrapping up our first season back in Ligue 1 today, and it all comes down to the wire. We're fighting hard for this 5th place spot. We're in 7th right now. We are 3 points off of Montpellier, who we play in this episode, so it is all still to play for. We also take on Lyon, who are in the running for one of those top couple of spots with us. So this is do or die time, guys. These are the biggest games of our season, and hopefully the team is looking up for it. Now, the notable absence here still is Wabi Kazri, probably our star player. He's out injured. We're gonna still have to make do without him, so it's gonna be Husni on the wing. I'm gonna try Soumaré as an attacking midfielder for this game, and let's see if he can't get in there and get the job done. Alright, well, here we go. One of the bigger teams historically in France, Lyon, versus Paris FC, the new boys who have come up and are looking to really make a name for themselves here in the first season back in the top division of France. We've done an excellent job so far. Our loftier goal when starting the season was to try to finish in a European spot, and it is very much still doable. But I think we need to keep our heads level. We've had some really difficult games. It has not been ideal the last couple months here, and we just need to make sure that we maintain our composure against some of the bigger boys in this episode and try to grind out results. We've looked good so far. We're controlling the tempo of play, and if you guys have been watching along, you know all we've really been missing is that clinical edge in front of goal, and hopefully we can find it today. Gaetan Laura, almost the one to deliver just on cue with the overhead kick. That's a difficult one to keep on target. He was so acrobatic to get a foot through it in the first place. That's a really good chance for Paris FC that has gone missing. Lyon now finding their footing in the game just a little bit. Shaqiri bundles through his man only to be laid out by Axel Bombo. We love to see that. But they continue the pressure here, and it finds its way all the way to goal. Luka Zidane, 2 huge hands on that save. That is perfect, exactly what we needed to keep ourselves in this. And as we try to play out from the back now, it's not necessarily the smoothest. And Lyon continue to get numbers forward and put the pressure on us in the box, and it is blasted wide. Just before the halftime whistle, we got away with one there, if I'm being completely honest. And we go into the second half still level. Neither team yet to score, but we've both had some really solid chances. And here we go again, Gaetan Laura. He's clean through, shot on goal. Oh, I thought that was in. It is just wide. We've seen him score that exact goal so many times, but today might not be our day. I think it was off the post even. There's a really good chance here for Paris FC, but the scoreline remains level. Tobias looking for the early ball. It was the right idea, but the wrong execution couldn't quite pick his man out. Well, it's still the same story here. Some good chances for both teams. No goal just yet, but I feel like there might be a goal in this game. Both teams really pushing for it. These 3 points are not only important for us, but for Lyon, who are also trying to close down a top 5 finish. So it is all on the line for both teams who are throwing numbers forward. It's been end-to-end stuff so far. Lyon really starting to twist the knife here, though, working the ball around. We just can't touch it at the moment, but all that said and done, we end up winning the ball back easy enough. Soumaré plays it through for Laura, and he is brought down. Play continues. Laura out wide. Matrita trying to find a way through. The overlapping runs being made. Soumaré, who hasn't seen too much of the ball, twisting and turning, can't really do much with it. It's been disappointing from Soumaré again. Cornet crossing position. The final ball missing again. Disappointing in front of goal and even around the box for the team today, and it ends 0-0. Neither team able to score. On the bright side, we keep a clean sheet, but on the negative side, we fail to score once again. We are sorely missing Wabi Kazri, and I think it shows with the attacking performances we've been putting in as of late. Well, this is do or die time, guys. We dropped points in that game. We're still in the running, but between us and Montpellier is 2 points. Nantes, Lille, Bordeaux, Stade Brestois, they're all closing down these spots. We're all within 3 points of each other, and it's going to all come down to how we do in these head-to-head games. So this is maybe the single biggest game of our season. This is the single game that might turn the tides for us finishing in a top 5 spot. Let's get to it. All right, here we go. A huge occasion. Paris FC need a win here to finish in one of these top spots. It is 6th versus 9th right now. But the game in hand over teams like Lyon means it's still very doable for us if we pick up wins in these next 3 games. Alexandre Mitrita may be the one to watch here, 3 goals in his last 3 games. I know he had a pretty rocky start to life, and it was down in the 2nd division even last season. He just didn't look great, didn't contribute a lot, but he has stepped it up in a big way this season. He's been one of our best players, particularly when we've been struggling with injuries. Some of our usual best players like Laura and Khazri have been out for significant periods, and we've really turned to players like Mitrita and Husni, who's also been injured, to step up and really make a name for themselves in the team. And I think he's done exactly that. One of our more important players, and one of the players to watch going forward the next couple seasons, I think. It's Chowdhury now getting forward Montpellier with a lot of possession here early in the match, playing a ball in behind. Luka Zidane stays on it, he's alert, and he gets out there. This is going to be a really difficult game for us. Montpellier love to press high, but here we go, playing out from the back. It is beautiful play here from Paris FC. Mitrita has the chance on the overlap, couldn't quite get the pass off, but it's a good sign of intent from the team here. Maxwell Cornet still playing as a right winger despite being left back by trade. But here we go, another overlapping run from Vinicius Tobias, puts a cross in. Laura opens the scoring 15 minutes into the game. How about that for a start from Paris FC? Our star striker gets the job done in front of goal once again. He's been on fire since really last season. A little rocky this season between injuries and trying to come back to form, but I think he's getting back to his best already. His match sharpness is up there, and he's probably been our most important player this season. By far scored the most goals at least. And here we go, Haidara able to put a cross in, but he stays patient with possession, looking to work it around. Not a whole lot of numbers forwards on the ball now, though. Husni coming to get the ball. Some tricky footwork, taking his man on. How about this for a run from Ilias Husni? Twisting, turning, Soumaré, give and go. It's Husni who cracks a shot at goal, deflected off the center back, and it's out for a corner. What a brilliant run from the youngster. You can tell he's trying to take the game into his own hands here, and playing at attacking mid for Soumaré, who did not impress their last game. He's looking really sharp. The youngster Husni almost gets by his man. Couple of really nice moves there, and although it didn't quite come off, he's probably been our sharpest player. Maxwell Cornet now in a good position to put a ball in from Mitrita at the back post. Lovely touch, gets it settled, and it is deflected. What a great couple of chances from the team. We probably should be 2 or 3 goals up by now if we could have finished some of those, but it hasn't fallen our way yet, and we hope we don't come to regret that kind of chance as Montpellier get forwards now. On the wing, it's Petagna getting forward, Soleil trying to close down, top of the box, it's deflected in, and it is a goal to equalize. Oh, heartbreaking stuff just before halftime here. We've been excellent in the first, but regardless, we find ourselves still level on the scoreline. Can we get another goal to get back in front here? It's Haidara making an overlapping run from left back and plays it through Husni. It's just clumsy play, really. The team looking a little rattled since that equalizer late in the first half, and it just hasn't really been the same. 20 minutes remaining here. Ball over the top for Piaka, who somehow is on sides. Vinicius Tobias closing down, can't get there in the box, and it is a second. Montpellier spring on the counterattack and find a second goal of their own. Devastating stuff. I thought we've actually played really well, but it hasn't looked the same really in the second half, and we pay the price for that slip up there. Second goal, and we at least need 1 goal if we want any hope this season at a top 5 spot. It is Husni trying to close down in that pass, but it goes awry again. 10 minutes left, and time is really starting to wind down now. Headed back down for Soumaré, getting forwards, who gives the ball away again. Trying to close down here, but Montpellier doing a really, really good job just passing in circles around us. This is probably at the last chance of the game. Gaetan Laura plays it through. Cornet, he's still got some amount of legs left in him. Plays it back. Laura tries to take his man on, and it is stood up by the defense. Really good job there from the defender. That's probably going to be time. The whistle blows. Heartbreaking stuff for Paris FC, who gave it their all. But on the day, it just wasn't enough. We suffered defeat to Montpellier, and with only 2 games left in the season, you get this sinking feeling that's probably it for our chances at a top 5 finish. I don't even know what to say at this point. You can tell the team is just not the same as it was earlier, and I think at this point, we probably need some kind of morale boost going into next season. All right, well, on the bright side, we get a big boost here as Wahbi Khazri is finally back from injury. Now, the downside is, if you guys remember an episode or two ago, he announced he's going to be retiring at the end of the season, or he was thinking about it rather. That has come true, especially coming back from this injury. He's decided to hang up the boots, so we can at least give him a nice farewell game or two here at the end of the season. We're down to 11th, unfortunately, but it's really tight. Technically speaking, it is still possible for us to finish in a top 5 position, really just only 5th, but it is a big if. We need a lot of other teams to drop points. So we're going to get out there. We're going to give it our all and see what we got. But realistically, not looking great for us. On the bright side, Khazri does make the bench. He's not going to be able to start. His match fitness is pretty low. He's been out for 2 or 3 months. But maybe we'll see something of him, and maybe it'll be just enough for us to get a result. In the meantime, I'm trying to decide what to do. I feel like we need a little more force in the attack. Piet's been an outstanding player for us, but Diakite is such a better attacker. It's a trade-off for defense, but in a game where we really need to get out there and get goals, I'm dropping Sumare, who's been poor, so it's going to be Nam and Diakite who start this one. Husni in front of them, Laura on the wing, Laren up top. We're trying something a little different, and hopefully it pays off. So without further ado, let's get to the game. All right, well, it already was do or die time, but this is the be-all, end-all. If we don't win this game, it is officially over. If we want any hope at 5th place, this is it. We need a win here. FC Metz is a kind of team we should be beating anyways, but I feel like I've been saying that a lot recently. It has been disappointing from Paris FC, who started so bright, but deep down somewhere, I know it's in us, and I think once we can kind of get past this injury crisis and get back to form, we'll be back to our best. Ilias Husni, lovely run. He has really stepped it up recently. Here we go with Matrita in a crossing position, puts it into the box, and if not for a lovely clearance, that could have been a good chance. Husni now does really well to take his man on. He's looked really sharp, but Matrita gives the ball away, and on the game goes. It's Metz now getting forwards. It's Mbuemo. Poor tackle there from Umar Soleil, who can't slow him down. And Mbuemo with all the pace. How has he not finished that? Well, I'm not going to complain. I'll take it, but that really should have been a goal from the opposition. Clean through. It was a poor challenge from Soleil. Completely missed the ball. And anyone who's seen Brentford recently knows exactly how fast Mbuemo can be on the counterattack. And it's Tobias now coming forwards. Probably our other best player as of late, which is funny enough, coming out of right back. But he's such a talented player, not only in his well-rounded game playing from right back, but in terms of his attack specifically, he gets forward. He's consistently our most threatening player, and I think we probably just need a way to figure out how to get the most of him, whether that's playing a back 5 or just allowing him to get forwards in a back 4. But hold up, talking about Tobias, it is Gaetan Laura who scores to get us in front here. He's been pushed out on the wing. He's playing as a left winger in this game, but he can still get forward and score. Looking really sharp as well in this one. He's always good for a goal if you can get him an eye on it. You know, if he can get a shot off, he's a really good finisher. Definitely the best in the squad, and he delivers with no problem in this game. Matrita now the latest to drive forwards, and it is a really good chance. Laren directly in front of goal. It was clever. He almost snuck it in there. It was off the post. To be fair, that is very unlucky. We probably should have had a second. Cornet now with the give and go. Laura does really well to find the return pass, and he's in a good crossing position. Back post, Matrita off the crossbar and in. Well, for someone so short and not particularly good in the air, Alexandre Matrita, I think, has scored 2 or 3 headers this season, and all pretty important goals too. You know, I was saying earlier, he's been one of our more important players all season, and this just goes to show he steps up in big games, and no matter where we need him in that front line, he's played on both sides of the wings. He's even played it as a striker at times when we play with a back 3 with 2 up top, but really just delivers again tonight. And here we go, though. Wahbi Khazri coming on as a substitute. It's Laren coming off to make room for our super talented attacking midfielder. It is going to be a sad, sad day when he retires at the end of the season, but hopefully we can send him off on a good note. He deserves it after the last 2 seasons he's given us. It has been unbelievable stuff with our star man over the last few years. Here we go with Ilias Husni, who hopefully can fill the shoes left by Khazri in the squad, but all we get out of Khazri in this little cameo is a bit of frustration. Picks up a yellow card, but on the bright side, we see the game out 2-0, a clean sheet, a win. Our hope at top 5 is technically still alive. We'll have to see how results fell elsewhere. It always was a big if. We kind of blew our chances with the bigger games, but let's check it out. Oh man, well, Wabi Kazri is going to be unavailable for his final game at Paris FC. He picked up too many yellow cards, and he is unavailable for the final game of the season. That's really sad to see. I wish we could have given him a better send-off, but a huge shout out to Wabi Kazri for the past 2 or 3 seasons. He's been probably our most consistent, best player, and I think the numbers speak for themselves in terms of his goals and assists. Unfortunately for us as a team, that was it too. We blew our chance at top 5. We are officially out of the running. Still, our goal is to finish in the top half. That was our minimum goal. So I think if we can get out there, get a win, and finish above 10th this season, it is disappointing, but considering everything we've been through, I think it's a pretty solid finish this season. So we go into our last game. I'm going to give some of the youngsters a shot. It's a farewell to Julian Lopez, who starts out on the left-hand side. Let's get to it. Alright, well, this game's a good opportunity to give players a run out there and kind of say farewell to some of the players who are leaving. A lot of players are moving on at the end of the season, some of the more experienced ones especially. Dante, who didn't feature too much at center back, how about that for a goal from Gaetan Lora? In the meantime, he looks back to his best at the end of the season. But like I was saying, Dante's leaving. Julian Lopez, who's been with us since the beginning, is leaving at the end of the season. Obviously, Kazri's retiring. A lot of the experienced folks are all moving on. So it's going to be a much changed squad probably for next season. Ideally for the better. We're going to have some money to splash, and we have big ambitions. But the drama doesn't stop here at the end of the season. Final game, and it's Umar Soleil, who definitely has a bit of a hot-headed streak in him, picks up another red card and puts us under pressure here. With only a couple minutes left in the match, we are down to 10 men, and just at the death, Rems find a goal passing through our back line, and we come to pay the price there for that poor challenge earlier in the match. Is this going to be a disappointing end to the season for the team? Hopefully we have something left in us with only a couple minutes left here, and it is over the top there from Husni to find Lora, who finishes. There's a bit of a hopeful ball, but that's the kind of quality we're getting out of Ilyas Husni, who definitely has the composure to pick out passes like that. And Gaetan Lora, enough said about him really this season. He'll finish anything you give to him. He's fast, he's strong, he'll make the space, he'll make the runs, and he gets another goal to cap the season off here. 2 goals for him, and he's on a hat trick, but not a lot of time left in that game. So the whistle ends up blowing. Another 2-0 win, a clean sheet, not a bad way to end the season. And although it is disappointing not have really achieved our lofty goals, it was a good first season back. Alright, well, 8th place, all said and done, really not that bad. The disappointing part, though, is we really only ended up finishing 3 points off of Montpellier, who did take that spot in 5th. If we could have won over them or really swung any of the other games that we had this season, it could have been enough to make a difference. But in the end, it is what it is, and I'm pretty proud of the way the team played this season. Paris Saint-Germain took 1st place, which is disappointing to see. They also went on to win the French Cup this season and were pushing for the treble in the Champions League, but thankfully Liverpool took them down. They are still yet to win the Champions League. This is the closest they've made it in this save, and like we've heard in the past, Kylian Mbappe is staying with them in an attempt to win the Champions League, so he'll be with them until they get it, and it's a race really with us trying to get better. We're going to try to get there before they do. Now, in the meantime, we have a lot of players who are moving on, like I said earlier. I'm signing Samuel Piette back up. He's agreed to be a rotation player, so he might not be a starter, but he is important for us, and I like to see him here next season. But it's going to be Corchia, Dante, Lopez, all moving on, along with Kazri. On the bright side, we are bringing in new talent, though. Isaac Soleil, younger brother of Umar Soleil. He's been in the under-23s for several years now. I think he is 23 in this save at this point. He is going to make the call up. He's not actually in the game, so I had to mod him in, but you can see him here now in the academy. Isaac Soleil, 66 overall, 23 years of age. And although he isn't necessarily the best or most promising player in here, it'll be interesting to see him link up with his brother and maybe be a depth player for us over the next couple seasons. And the academy just continues to provide Felix, Corey, Luxon, among the others who are in Paris FC's real-life academy who we've modded in. And obviously we also have Ethan Mbappe here now, who we signed last episode, 17 years old, 65 overall. Sky's the limit for a player like him, and hopefully he can step up and be a big player for us. Now, with the current squad, I've done some work modding the overalls to players that I think deserve upgrades. Vinicius Tobias is number 1. He goes up to a 74 overall after a great season. Soumaré gets a downgrade from 82 back down to 80. I think he was really underwhelming this season. I don't think he deserves any higher than an 80. So along with the upgrades, I'm going to keep things realistic. So players that aren't playing well aren't going to be that high rated. But some of the other players who do deserve upgrades, Mitrita was one of our best players this season. He gets a +3 to 78. Wabi Kazri, I had upgraded to 81 during his injury just to reflect how good he'd been, but he's retiring, so it won't matter a whole lot, will it? Gaetan Laura also gets an upgrade to 81. Having grown 5 overall this season, he just keeps delivering even in Ligue 1. There were questions over whether he'd be able to do it this season, but he definitely did. In terms of other players who've looked good, Zidane, Soleil, Bamba, they all made 38 appearances. Zidane and Soleil didn't miss a game in the league this season. Bamba was only 1 off. So our defense is looking consistent, at least in terms of who's there, but I would like to see some better performances next season. And Gaetan Laura, just to get back to him, 18 goals in his 31 appearances, unbelievable stuff, well-deserved upgrades. Same with Ilyas Husni, 9 goals, 6 assists. Wabi Kazri, 9 goals, 8 assists. And then obviously Mitrita scored 7, assisted 6 as well. Those front four were by far our most consistent and best players this season. So it's a shame about Kazri. I want to keep all 4 of them together. But on the bright side, Husni, Laura, Mitrita, all still important players going forwards. And we will be able to make some big signings next season. We have a lot of money to spend and big expectations. Now, taking a look, a ton of players coming back from loan, and we could end up turning to them. We have players like Timothy Lotutala, who looked amazing in preseason. He's grown a lot, 69 overall. We actually had good loan spells for everyone. Maisam Banama's actually up to 70 overall at this point and has grown rapidly. He's supposed to be a player very similar to someone like Toni Kroos. He's incredibly well-rounded, and I think is definitely one of the best future players we have in our squad. Also, Ismail Garbi, huge shout out to going out on loan, growing significantly. He's up to 74 overall and will come back and want to fight for a spot in the squad next season. So all eyes on season 4. In the meantime, behind the scenes, feel free to hop into the Discord, link in the description. I'm taking suggestions for signings and things like that. You'll get to see the kits and all the behind the scenes. Also, go check out respectedjeff.com if you want to see this squad in detail and get a season recap for all of the season 3 statistics. So go check it out for yourself. In the meantime, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And on we go. All eyes on season 4 now, so I'll be back soon with the next episode in this series. But until then, I'm Respect the Jeff, and I'll see you next time.